I'm Ronnie from Ronnie's Garage, and we're holding our monthly tech meet. Today we're going to be working on a Silver Shadow electric door lock, 1972. So here we are. Just so everybody knows, when you activate the locks in these cars, it sounds like somebody's hitting the car with a hammer, because these are big solenoids. Modern cars, they've got tiny little plastic encased things with gears that, little tiny electric motors, gear reduction. And what happens, this is usually the offender. I'm surprised this is intact. When you think about it, 46 years. This is a piece of rubber. You can still get them. This is the door lock solenoid boot. And the part number is a UB, Uncle Buck, 19076. And it has an expiry date. It's expired.
19076.
190.
It's an O?
Oh, it's a 0. Yeah, whatever. So this is a new boot. Usually what happens is these disappear. And if you look at this, this faces up. You can even see the corrosion on top of this thing. It fills with water because the doors are not sealed. The reason they have that vinyl membrane on the inside to protect the door panel is because water goes inside the doors. It doesn't go around them. It's not supposed to go around them on the seal. But all there is felt seals on that glass, and water goes in. They have drains. It's supposed to drain out. Well, water comes in on this thing. That's why they put a rubber boot on. This is a clever, it's not clever. What you've got, this is friction tape up on top, which, if you don't know what that is like electrical tape, only it's made out of cloth. And what you've got is two series of coils here. You got one, it's just like a spool of wire. And I'll peel some of this tape back. Try not to damage it.
So those solenoids are shot, they're burned open? Or?
No. This one's a little discolored, so this one's been worked. Those should be a nice red color. So this one's got hot, it's discolored. It might be broken. Let's see what happens here. Okay. Make this work. This is the ground, so I'll put the ground on there. See, that pulled it down, so that activated this solenoid. This should go the other way. Oh. Well, you know something? It's sparking. So even though it's discolored, it'll still work. But when you pull that thing up, look at the rust on that shaft. Okay, so we'll go down. Now, see, it's so rusty, it doesn't want it to go down. And then we'll go up. It's so rusty. See, somebody's held the button, and it's kind of got those windings hot. So they still work, obviously, but they should be a nice bright red. When they turn color like this, it means they've got hot. There's an insulation on them. It's like a lacquer that keeps them from touching each other. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this thing apart, and we're going to clean it up. So both of these linkages are held on with little split pins.
Ronnie, is that motor fuse protected?
Yes, the door locks do have I think they have a circuit breaker on this model, but they are protected. But that doesn't mean that somebody hasn't overridden that protection.
Yeah, for sure.
Which, I've seen a lot. Thanks, Chuck. It's nice to have Chuck around. He always anticipates. Okay, so there we go. So this little split pin, there are special punches, just so everybody knows. These are drifts, and they've got a little, nipple down there that sits into the hole of this split pin to keep you centered. And I didn't drive it all the way out because I prefer not to, because sometimes it's hard to get them back started again. So I'll take the bottom one out too. And just so everybody knows at home, you want to kind of orient yourself. This is the top, doesn't have the plastic housing. This has a straight rod, this has a 90-degree rod. And this rod is actually spring-loaded here. There's 2 sets of springs in here, so it relieves some of the jarring effect. So I'm going to go ahead and not break the wires. Try to get this in here so I can grab it with my aluminum jaws. Okay, so if you buy a new solenoid or buy a rebuilt one, it's going to come like this, but without these brackets on here too. Those brackets are riveted on, and they're specific to different models, and they're in different positions. The holes on the solenoids are duplicated on both sides. It's 3 holes. They're in the same position on either side, so you can mount it left, right, whatever. So what I want to do here, let's see, grab this, is grab this in the vise where it's going to be pretty stout. I'll just show you guys. What I want to do is take this end plate off so I can get this piece out. All right, so I choose this end because there's 1 wire going through here. I have to cut 1 wire so it can feed through this hole. And then it's got these flanges from this. When it's put together, this thing has fingers, and they go through holes, and then they just take a punch and they drive them tight. So I'm going to reverse that process. Per se, usually I think I might have to pull one of these brackets off just to get a good grab on here. Oh, maybe not. This might seem brutal, but I think these are about $400. So I've always liked to fix things when I can. So I cut this wire about halfway down here. All right, so that I'm going to have to put this back together afterwards, but just that 1 wire. Grab this pretty tightly in here. So this has been driven with a wedge, so what it does is it takes this square piece of metal that goes through the hole, and it does that. So it bites down on the outside edges. So I'm going to reverse that process, and I usually just take a nice, I like this little punch here it's not a perfect wedge. It's got 1 long side and then a pretty blunt up, and that helps keep you from overdoing things. And just keyword is it helps. So I'm just trying to push it back enough to hopefully have the right clearance. Let's do the other side.
How often do you do one of these?
When they fail. The other 3 are fine on it.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. So now I'm trying to drive that up a bit, see if I can get it to walk. It's starting to move. See how it's lifting? It's almost past those. So now we'll switch it and do the other side. Yeah, but what if you're not an adult like I'm not?
You go for your band, I don't want to go to
They need electric box or
I think I need to push that flange over just a tiny bit more, maybe. There we go.
Oh, God.
There you
Oh,
go.
that's gnarly.
Okay? That's where the problem is.